Getting started is almost always the hardest part. Not the work itself, not the finish line, the start. You can know exactly what you need to do, you can even want it badly, and still find yourself sitting there, not doing it. If that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not lazy, you're not broken, and you're not the only one. Starting is hard for almost everybody, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand why and exactly how to beat it. So let's talk about what's really stopping you, because it's usually not what you think. Most people believe they don't start because they lack discipline or willpower. But underneath it, there are four things quietly holding you back: procrastination, perfectionism, fear, and overthinking. They wear different masks, but they're all doing the same job: keeping you stuck. Once you can see them for what they are, they lose most of their power. So let's break them down one at a time. Let's start with the biggest myth of all, because this one keeps millions of people frozen. The myth is that you need to feel motivated before you take action. You've probably lived your whole life believing that one day you'll wake up fired up, ready, and then you'll finally begin. So you wait for the feeling, and you wait, and it never reliably shows up. Here's the truth that changes everything. Motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after it. You don't wait to feel like doing the thing. You do a little bit of the thing, and the feeling follows. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. It's backwards from what everyone told you. You don't think your way into action. You act your way into motivation. Think about the last time you didn't want to go to the gym, or start a project, or make the call. The hardest part was the 2 minutes before you started. Once you were actually moving, it wasn't so bad. Sometimes it even felt good. That's the whole secret right there. The dread lives in the not starting. So stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is a feeling that shows up after you begin, not before. Now let's talk about procrastination, because most people misunderstand it completely. Procrastination isn't a time management problem. It's an emotion management problem. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding how the task makes you feel. It feels overwhelming, or boring, or scary, or uncertain. So your brain reaches for something easier to escape that feeling. The phone, the snack, the "I'll do it tomorrow." It's not about being lazy. It's your brain trying to avoid discomfort. And once you understand that, the fix becomes obvious. You don't need more time. You need to make the task feel smaller and less threatening. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Here's the most powerful tool in this entire video. Break it down until it's almost too small to fail. Whatever the goal is, it feels heavy because you're looking at the whole mountain at once. Write the book, get in shape, start the business. Of course you're frozen. Those are huge. So shrink it. Don't write the book. Write 1 page. Don't get in shape, put on your shoes, and walk out the door. Don't build the business. Just open the document and write the name at the top. Take the giant, scary goal and cut it down to a first step so small that saying no to it feels ridiculous. Because here's what happens. That tiny step gets you moving. And once you're moving, you almost always keep going past it. The page turns into 3 pages. The walk turns into a workout. The one small action was never really about that action. It was about breaking the freeze. Getting started is the entire game, and a small enough step is how you win it every single time. You are always one small action away from momentum. Now let's deal with perfectionism, because this one is sneaky. It doesn't feel like a weakness, it feels like a high standard, something to be proud of. But perfectionism is one of the biggest reasons people never start and never finish. Because if it has to be perfect, then it's never safe to begin. You might do it wrong. So you wait until you know more, until conditions are right, until you're sure. And that day never comes. Perfectionism isn't about excellence. A lot of the time, it's just fear wearing a nicer outfit. So here's what you have to accept. Your first attempt at anything is going to be rough. Your first video, your first workout, your first draft, your first month. It's supposed to be. That's not failure. That's the entry fee for getting good at anything. Done is better than perfect, because done can be improved, and perfect never gets made. Give yourself permission to do it badly at first. Progress beats polish. You can't edit a blank page, and you can't improve something that doesn't exist yet. Start ugly. Start messy. Just start. Next is fear, and let's be honest about it, because we don't talk about this enough. A lot of the time when you're not starting, what's really underneath it is fear. Fear of failing. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of putting yourself out there and having it not work. Fear that you'll try your hardest and still fall short. And then what? So it feels safer to just not try. If you never start, you can never fail. But here's the trap in that thinking. Not starting is failing. It's just the slow, quiet version that doesn't sting as much in the moment. You're guaranteeing the exact outcome you're afraid of, just to avoid the risk of it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking the step anyway. And here's something they don't tell you. You don't have to get rid of the fear before you move. You just have to move while it's there. The fear usually doesn't disappear until after you've done the thing a few times and proven to yourself you can survive it. Action is what shrinks fear. Waiting only feeds it. And then there's overthinking, the final trap, and maybe the most exhausting one. Overthinking feels productive. You're planning, you're analyzing, you're considering every angle, weighing every option. But at some point, thinking stops being preparation and starts being another way to avoid doing. You can research forever. You can plan the perfect plan for months. But no amount of thinking moves you forward, only action does. You cannot think your way to a result. At some point, you have to close the tabs, stop planning, and take the imperfect first step with the information you already have. Here's a simple rule for that. When you catch yourself overthinking, ask what the smallest next action is, and just do that one thing. Not the whole plan. The next single step. Overthinking dies the moment you start doing, because your brain can't spin in circles and take action at the same time. Movement breaks the loop.
All right, let's get that blood flowing. Warm up those muscles, prepare your body. Take your time, stretch it out, prevent injury. Start with 5 to 10 minutes if you're beginning. Don't rush it. Once your body work, build your way up to 15 minutes, then 20, then 30 minutes. This is a marathon. Consistently build sprint. Your farty back, your system will thank